Good afternoon, and I hope you're all having a nice Sunday and enjoyed a nice little night of fighting last night. Some interesting fights, some very entertaining ones as well. The first one I want to talk about today is the fight between Frampton and Chris Avalos. I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. We're as boxing fans, we're all entitled to our opinion, and we all give our opinion. And obviously, it's never going to be proven right or wrong until a fight takes place to prove you right or wrong. Now, in this fight, I initially said in my pre-fight video that I don't rate Frampton exactly as a world beater. I think he is world class, but I don't rate him as a world beater. And I thought that last night, if Frampton would have got involved early on the inside with Chris Avalos, I thought Chris Avalos could have caused him a lot of problems because he is a good combination hitter on the inside, has quite a hard punch, and when he does back people up to the ropes, he tends to cause damage. Well, Chris Avalos went out there and tried what I thought he'd try and do, and that was to try and be a pressure fighter, to try and get inside Frampton's jab, and just to basically try and bully Frampton on the inside and, bully him back to the ropes and try and get some success to bully him to a submission. That didn't happen as Chris Avalos would have planned, and it didn't happen as I would have seen it either, to be honest. Me personally, I was expecting that. What I was expecting was Frampton to get behind his jab, keep the distance, which he did do to a certain extent, and he did really well. Keep the distance, keep Avalos on the end of that jab, and then catch him coming in on the inside. However, what I didn't see coming was how much improved Frampton's inside game actually is. I've had my criticisms of Frampton's inside game in the past, claiming he is the kind of fighter that does need to get behind his jab, and he needs that range, he needs that spacing to really be effective to his maximum potential in a fight. But last night he showed me a lot of things. He showed me that there's been a lot of work done by himself and obviously his team, which is main trainer including Shane McGuigan, of course. He's done a lot of work on that inside game and his spacing and his movement last night. I have to say his movement, even though he got hit with a lot of shots he shouldn't have got hit with, I was impressed with his movement. I thought his movement was very good. He kept on his toes. And ultimately, I just don't think Chris Avalos could have been there all year long and he wouldn't have had any answers for Frampton and what he was doing. Also, I've got to give a lot of credit as well because Frampton's chin, like I said, he did take quite a few shots. I mean, if you watch the fight back, I know it doesn't last very long, it only lasts obviously 4 and a bit rounds. But if you do watch it back, Frampton actually does take some quite meaty shots. He even actually gets cut, as you can see later on in the fight, and you can see on the aftermath, he does actually get cut by Chris Avalos. So he did get caught with some meaty shots, but he just took them so well. I never had I don't think we've ever seen Frampton's chin tested thoroughly. He's never been in real bad trouble or in dire straits. But last night against somewhat of a hard-hitting fighter at Super Frampton, he did take some shots and he took them really, really well. He just didn't even faze him. He just took them in his stride, a bit like Golovkin does in a way. Just took them in his stride and just dished back the punishment to Avalos. And I suppose from Chris Avalos' point of view, I think it was the second round in particular where Avalos did have a little bit more success on the inside. He did start to land some of those hooks. And he kind of hit Frampton with his best. And Frampton, like I say, he didn't really even flinch. And I think that broke Avalos' heart, to be honest. Because after that, he just looked like a man that was desperate. He just looked like a man that was going to punch himself out. And all Frampton had to do was just keep behind his jab, work Avalos on the inside when he came too close, and land his shots, and he did so successfully. I'm still, like I say, I don't want to be too sceptical on Frampton because I think I was harsh enough in my pre-fight video towards Frampton, in my opinion. I still don't think he's a world beater, but he's certainly gone up, in my opinion. You can certainly see what he's been working on his game for the past few months since his last fight. I think that was all on show for everybody to see. Some might say, was that the best Chris Avalos, or was it just Frampton that's good, or that was too good? And I think I'd have to say it was just Frampton that was too good. I think Chris Avalos is, like I said in my pre-fight video, he's just the kind of fighter that will come forward, try and press you and land his big shots. He's not exactly a great technical all-round fighter. He's kind of one-dimensional. And Frampton he just took him apart, didn't he, really? He just took him apart in 4 short and a half rounds. He broke Chris Avalos' heart in about the second round, like I say, because it became apparently clear, even to Chris Avalos, that no matter what he hit Frampton with, Frampton was just going to walk through it and land harder shots back in return. So, you know, I was wrong about this fight. It was a walkover for Frampton in the end. And I do give Frampton a lot of credit, like I say. He has to be given the credit for the fight he fought and the way he fought. And just, you know, in his improvements, really. Like I say, even going back from his last fight, you can tell what he's been working on in training. And when you look at a fighter and you can see what he's working on in training and you can see him actually do that in a professional fight, you know, that's always a sign of a quality fighter. So maybe you could still say that I underrate Carl Frampton's ability. You know, that's your opinion. The one thing I will say is I did say before this fight, and someone obviously commented on my video, which I got into a little debate with them. If they watch this video, I hope you're taking my opinion on board again. I said Kid Galahad domestically would be a threat in a couple of years. I still stand by that opinion. I know Kid Galahad's nowhere near Carl Frampton's level at this point in time. So people could say it's a bit laughable how I am mentioning in the same sentence, which is a fair enough point. You know, I'm not going to dispute that. But what I'm saying is, domestically speaking, you're going to have two threats for Carl Frampton. One in the short term being Scott Quigg. One in the longer term being Kid Galahad, providing Kid Galahad goes with his potential and keeps on winning and doing the business like he has been doing. All right. Scott Quigg was ringside last night. He, of course, entered the ring after the fight. It does look set now to me that we are going to see a Frampton-Quigg showdown. It does look like it is going to be at some point this year, judging by, you know, the mannerisms that people are floating about and how the fighters are reacting to each other. So I would expect that fight later this year. I still have Quigg giving Carl Frampton problems. I still think it's a tough fight for both men, that Quigg can win. And I would still stand by my opinion that styles make fights, and I just think Quigg would just be in and out the pocket. I know Frampton's dangerous, but I still think Quigg would just be too quick in and out the pocket. But, you know, I could be wrong. I'm not going to dispute I could be wrong. Just everyone's entitled to their opinion. If you think my opinion's wrong, then please leave me a comment. You know, I'll happily respond. I'm not a mardy bastard. I don't see someone criticising my opinion on my comments or my wall and say, oh, you know, I've got to fight back. No, I'll accept your opinion. You know, we're all entitled to one, and I'll just happily discuss it or debate that opinion with you. That's absolutely fine. But just to sum of this video, big well done to Carl Frampton. Big respect on that performance. It was a great performance, and he showed me a lot tonight that I hadn't seen previous from a Carl Frampton performance. So, full respect. Bring on the next fight. I don't think Scott Quigg would be next for Carl Frampton. I do think both guys will have another fight before they even meet. And I would assume that Carl Frampton would be having a fight against a tougher level of competition than Scott Quigg. Although I would like to see Scott Quigg in with someone, you know, kind of ranked top 5 in the world. Just briefly as well, I did say in my previous video that I thought Santa Cruz would be a tough fight for Carl Frampton. Based on last night's performance and Carl Frampton's improving inside game, I would say if he performs like that against Santa Cruz, I think he demolishes Santa Cruz as well. So I'll take that comment back. But I still think he struggles against Rigondeaux. And I think stylistically wise, just the way Scott Quigg fights, I do think he struggles against Scott Quigg. And Kid Galahad could be a domestic rival come in a couple of years, provided he keeps on his path and fills his potential. Please leave your comments. Please subscribe. This is me done for this one. I'll be doing a couple more today, and then I'm going to settle down for the football this afternoon. You know, currently watching Liverpool Man City in the background, which is why I kind of keep on turning my head a little bit. And yeah, peace out.